Share, copy, paste. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll start sharing. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Okay, hey guys, thank you so much for joining. Um, Today we are going to be talking about snacking and energy levels and all that good stuff. So, thanks for tuning in. Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me? Okay. And you guys can ask me any questions that you want throughout the presentation, but I'm also going to do a Q&A at the very end. All right, so let's get started. A little bit about me. So this is one of my very favorite topics because to me, snacking and talking about energy levels is what truly gave me food freedom and allowed me to just be my most like healthy, confident self. So I like to just help people find their balance because I think it's really hard to navigate the lines between eating really, really healthy and then also just like having fun and living your life. So I do this by a variety of ways. Clearly, I speak, I have one on one clients, I do wellness programs, I love to blog, recipe develop, all that good stuff. But today, like I said, this is my all-time favorite topic because this is what really gave me food freedom. So, when we talk about snacking and energy levels, the main thing that we are talking about is stabilizing blood sugars. And once I really learned what blood sugars were, it completely changed my life and it made eating healthy become super easy. So once I learned about blood sugars and incorporated what like my knowledge from what I knew about blood sugars into my eating habits, that's when it was like never easier for me to lose weight and get to my ideal weight. I have more energy than I ever have. I don't yo-yo. I don't go on diets anymore. And I'm happier because I can have margaritas with my friends and then also just like get right back on track and understand what's going on in my body. So like I said, if you guys are just coming on, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box and I am going to, I'll just like answer them as we go, but then I'm also going to do a Q&A at the end. Okay, so why is stabilizing your blood sugar so important? Stabilizing your blood sugars is really important for a variety of reasons. The main ones that I think of is controlling your hunger and fullness cues. So if you don't have controlled blood sugars, then oftentimes it can cause you to reach that like I'm so starving feeling and then overeat or eat foods that maybe aren't as healthy. Another huge one is energy levels. So some people, it's kind of crazy, I know, but some people don't really get that like super hungry feeling, but then they contact me because they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me around 4 o'clock every day. I am just so tired, like I can't get anything done. I don't want to work out. And this is also another symptom that you could have low blood sugar. So along with that, it also can help control your mood because I don't know if any of you guys struggle with getting hangry like me. I definitely get hangry. And also your brain power. So sometimes when I'm like really in the zone, I don't necessarily get hungry because I'm just so concentrated on my work, but I can tell that my brain just starts feeling more sluggish and I can't get done what I need to do. So today we're going to talk about blood sugars and how that relates to all of these things. All right, so this is a great way to look at it. When I think about blood sugars, I think about a roller coaster ride because most Americans are going on a roller coaster ride every single day. Their energy levels, their blood sugars are spiking and they're crashing and they're feeling tired. They're feeling, just all kinds of not very good ways. And having out of control energy levels can come from a variety of reasons, such as like lack of sleep. It can come from stress, which also plays a role in blood sugars. It can come from not snacking properly, suboptimal diet. It can come from lack of exercise or chronic disease. But today we're going to tackle snacking. Okay, so this is my little puppy. Well, he just turned 3 last weekend, but this is Bentley. And today we're going to talk about how to go from Bentley on the left to Bentley on the right at 4 o'clock, because 4 o'clock is when I notice that I just crash if I have not eaten properly. So our goal is to be happy, to have controlled eating habits, to have a stable mood and great energy levels. What we don't want is for those blood sugars to be out of whack. So we don't want to have low blood sugar ever. That can come from not eating properly, not snacking properly. And some of the symptoms that you might have are shakiness, irritability, confusion, dizziness, just hunger, nausea. And if it's really bad, blurred vision, that is like when you really know you need to get food now. Craving sugar is also a big symptom of this. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm just craving sugar because this is my habit, or I just am a huge sugar person. But more often than not, it's actually your body signaling to you that, hey, you want sugar because your blood sugars are low. And it's like, what's the easiest way to get sugar quickly? Sugar. So that is one of the reasons why. So this is like my all-time favorite graphic to show people. And this is what most Americans look like. So our blood sugars are a little bit out of control. This is definitely how I used to eat. And so what's happening here is their blood sugars are going up really high, and then they're coming down and they're dipping too low, and then they're going too high, and then again they're coming down and dipping too low. We want it to look like this. So we want it to like come up a little bit, come down a little bit, come up a little bit, come down a little bit. Because when your blood sugars are like this is what we were talking about before. Your mood might not be great, your energy levels are not going to be great, your hunger and fullness cues are not going to be what they should be. But here, this is like freedom to me. Like this is balance, this is living your life. So let's talk a little bit about what this means. So if you guys tuned in last week, we talked a little bit more about carbs, proteins, and fats. But if you can remember, carbs are the ones that they're like crackers and fruits and anything that's sweet, any kind of pasta, anything that is like grainy, or everything that's like really good. And like just think about like bread as well. So every time you eat a carb, that carb is going to break down and turn into glucose to give your body energy. So whenever you see this, like the yellow right here, when you see it rising, that's due to having carbs into the bloodstream. And when you eat a carb, that is wonderful. Like we want to eat carbs because that's what gives us the energy we need to go about our day, for our brain to function like it should, for us to get our workouts in, for us just to survive. But the bad thing is whenever we aren't pairing those carbs correctly. So say you have a carb for breakfast and you don't pair that with a protein. So say you just had like a banana and some oatmeal. Well, that's a lot of carbs. And the more carbs you have, if it's not paired with a protein, the faster it's going to spike your blood sugars. So what we want to do is this is like the secret, like write this down, memorize this. What we want to do is every single time you eat a carbohydrate, to pair that with a protein. So if you just had the oatmeal and the banana, so no protein, just carbs by itself, it's going to spike that blood sugar because it doesn't really have to do a lot. It's just digesting, it's spiking your blood sugar, and then the faster it spikes, the faster it comes down. And when it comes down, oftentimes people they're not eating quickly enough. They like think snacking can be bad, and that's when we run into trouble. So let's just say for breakfast you had a banana and oatmeal, your blood sugar spikes, and then it comes down. And now by lunch you are just starving. So then you're like, what can I get? So you go to Chick-fil-A and you want to get a sandwich and fries and a lemonade and some ice cream because your body, like you're just so hungry, you need energy, you need carbs. And then after that, it was too many carbs, and then it rises really quickly, it falls really quickly, and then you're left craving carbs again. So you're like wanting to have like pasta and all that good stuff for dinner. So what we should be trying to do is always pairing that carb with that protein. So instead of having oatmeal and a banana, maybe have oatmeal and some eggs, because the more protein that you have, the more it's going to slow down the rate at which that carbohydrate can break down. So the protein paired with the carb is going to stabilize your blood sugar levels. So instead of having that banana, you swap that out for some eggs. So your blood sugars are going to rise slowly and come down slowly. And whenever they're not in that red zone right here, now you're going to be able to control what you have for lunch a little bit better, because you're not going to have that I'm so hungry, I need to eat everything in sight feeling. And so you eat a very controlled lunch, and then come that third little hill you see, you're going to be able to eat a controlled snack. So you have a carb and protein again for a snack, and it's just you are finally in sync. So you have more of a controlled mood, more controlled energy levels, and better just overall, like you're just going to feel better because your body's not going to be shaky. You're not going to feel super fatigued. So that is the secret to really finding your balance. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I'm going to walk through a few different things that are really going to help you figure out what a snack should look like and how to control your blood sugars. So number one, trying to consume whole foods. And we try to consume whole foods because they aren't going to have added sugars. And the more added sugar you have, the more it's just going to add to that roller coaster, right? So the more sugar you have, it's just going to spike it and crash it. So whole foods are going to have, they're also going to have fiber, and that fiber is also going to help stabilize that the blood sugars to make it come up slowly and come down slowly. So eating whole foods is going to be the best thing you can do when trying to choose a snack. And then also eating often. So eating every 3 to 4 hours is really going to help you have control. And I know like so many people are confused. Like people told me to eat 6 times a day or eat every 2 hours. And then my brother's over here, he's like, I'm doing the OMAD, which is like 1 meal a day. And I'm just like, but really the answer is you should be eating about every 3 to 4 hours, and you shouldn't be feeling overly full or overly hungry at those meals. So if you eat breakfast at 9, like I typically eat breakfast around like 9 a.m. and then I have lunch around 12 to 1. But if I ate breakfast at 5 a.m. like most people and I didn't eat lunch until 1, I definitely would need to add a snack in between those meals so that I can control what I'm eating at lunch and just have the energy I need to conquer my day. So I like to think about it like a fire. So you don't want that fire to, you don't want it to soar and you don't want it to die down. So you're adding a little bit of fuel to that fire every 3 to 4 hours. So you're adding a little bit of fuel to your to that fire every 3 to 4 hours, and that's just going to keep you really stable. And then tip number 3, so calories. Calories, I know people are like, calories, it's all about the in and out calories. There's a lot of things that go into it rather than just calories, but calories are important. So when I think about a snack, I typically think about a snack being between 150 to 250 calories, usually with people trying to lose weight. If you are trying to maintain, then sometimes it can be a bit bigger, and it also depends on how many meals you're having throughout the day. But if you want to know what your calories should look like in your snack, just send me an email after this. But typically, I'd say about 150 to 250 calories, and it shouldn't make you full. It should just really tie you over until your next meal. And I think it's really important to look up those calories, because if you don't, then you can really easily think you're doing something super healthy and then run into a bit of a problem. So here I have 2 examples of yogurt parfaits, and one example, it seems like you're having about the same thing. You have a cup and a half of yogurt, you didn't really check the brand, you didn't check through the back, you add a tablespoon of honey, half a cup of granola, and some strawberries. You're like, oh, this is great, this is healthy, I'm having yogurt and granola, fruit. Well, before you know it, that could be a 725 calorie snack, with 105 grams of carbs and 84 grams of sugar. So definitely you want to check those calories, check the nutrition fact label, and try to choose brands that have like lower sugars, higher protein. So I would choose a container of 000 yogurt. I actually had one before I talked, and I would add only like 2 tablespoons. I like the brand Bare Naked granola because it's just a little bit lower in calorie, and then you could still have half a cup of strawberries. But now instead of having 725 calories, you're having only 185 calories, and instead of 84 grams of sugar, it's only 11 grams of sugar. So it's a big, big difference, and it's just really important to check those calories. So tip number 4, eating a steady amount of carbs throughout the day. So we were talking about this. We don't want to have too many carbs, and we don't want to have too little carbs. But what does that really look like? So I typically recommend that women have between about 30 and 45 grams of carbs per meal and about 15 to 20 grams of carbs per snack. And then the men, I usually recommend they have about 45 to 60 grams of carbs per meal and about 15 to 30 grams of carbs per snack. And if you don't want to like look at carbs and do all that crazy stuff, because I know, it's a little crazy over here. People are working, watching their kids, all that kind of stuff. Another way you could do it is just kind of eyeball your plate. So at meals, you could just eat about a quarter of your plate as carbs, and then at snacks, just about 1 serving. So like 1 piece of fruit with some peanut butter, or like 1 protein bar. Okay, tip number 5, so eat more fiber. So whenever you're choosing a snack, yes, like Whole Foods, they are going to have lots of fiber, but try to seek it out if you can. So try to choose snacks that have fruit or are loaded with veggies or seeds, stuff like that is really going to help you get your fiber in, which is just going to help you control your blood sugars and be able to stabilize what you're eating and everything like that. And then, so this is a secret, always pair the carb with a protein and or fat. So basically, if you want to slow down digestion, which is the goal, we want to have fiber, protein, and fat. So an example of this would be, instead of just having a piece of toast with some jelly, because that's a carb with a carb, we want to have a piece of toast with some avocado and egg, because that's going to give us protein. So that's going to keep us satisfied a lot longer than just a piece of toast and some jelly would. So here is an example of eating when people, this is like so common, it's crazy. So you wake up, you think you're eating pretty healthy, right? You wake up at 7 and you eat a banana and a granola bar, and you're like, yeah, this is great, I'm being healthy. But that's all carbohydrates, and since there's no protein, those blood sugars are going to rise really quickly, and they're going to start to come down pretty quickly. And if you can't get that snack in between that 7 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., like say you missed it due to a meeting, that blood sugar is going to continue to drop, like lower and lower and lower. So now you're going to be super hungry. You're going to be craving sugar. You're going to be craving carbs. And when you finally can eat lunch, it's going to be really tempting just to say, okay, yeah, I'll get a sandwich and chips and cookie and a soda. And it happens so often, it's crazy. And then that is so many carbs again. So then it's going to spike and it's going to crash. And then you're sitting at your desk and you look over and you see that your pantry is not that far away. So it's really tempting to go walk over there and get a candy bar or some kind of carb, because your body wants it. It needs that sugar. It wants to feel better. So then again, you eat it, your energy rises or your blood sugars rise, and then they crash. And then dinner rolls around, same thing. You're wanting pasta, you're wanting 2 pieces of bread, you're wanting wine because you need that energy. And then, as you can guess, 3 hours later, you're going to be craving sweets again. Okay, so how to pair protein with a carb. Basically, I always just think, when I'm thinking about a snack, I just think, pick a carb, pick a protein. So pick a carb, let's just say a serving of grapes, and I want to have that maybe with some string cheese. Or I want to pick a carb, let's say I have apples. I want to have some apple slices with some peanut butter. So it's just like pick one, pick the other, and that is going to be the perfect snack. Common actions that can lead to uncontrolled blood sugars are going to be too many carbs at once, missing protein at a meal. I always can tell if I've missed protein. Like, let's just say I'm running out the door and I wasn't prepared and I miss my peanut butter or I miss an egg or something, then I am just starving when it comes to lunchtime. Um, Also, I think people around that 4 o'clock time, instead of realizing what's going on, they're just like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I need to get some caffeine." So they go by Starbucks and they get a caffeine and sugar loaded drink, and so now they're feeling good. But to me, I think a lot of people don't ask themselves like, "Why am I feeling bad in the first place?" Like they're just putting a band-aid over the problem by getting a Starbucks rather than just like addressing that their energy levels are low and they shouldn't be that low. Other people will just like go get a sugar fix and then feel really bad, or get home and eat everything in sight, or they might graze while they're preparing a meal, and that just leads to that roller coaster. So I want you guys to think about things that you do that can lead to the vicious cycle. And if you can think of anything that you do, drop it in the chat box and we can talk about it. I think for me, the things that I used to do definitely was like that coffee run. Like I wasn't asking myself why I didn't feel good. I was just like, oh, you gotta feel better. You gotta have more energy. So I would just go get a coffee. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think about other things I did. I know like I used to be so focused on calories and now I'm much more focused on the carb protein combination. So I think I would just be like, I would feel guilty to add like protein because I thought it was too many calories. So those are probably the things like I messed up on. But if you guys want to share what something that you think that you can do better at, I think people would like to see it and we could talk about it. Okay, so I want to also give you some more examples because I feel like it's just everyone wants to see examples and have fun ideas. So this is my all-time favorite snack ever slash breakfast. It's whole grain toast with some peanut butter, blueberries, and chia seeds. And I like if you're having just like one of these, that's a great snack. So you're having the carb with the bread, and then the protein and fat with the peanut butter and the chia seeds. So other examples could be whole grain crackers with peanut butter, or some veggies and crackers with hummus, or an apple and string cheese. If you wanted like a small snack, like a one piece of bread with some tuna or turkey on it, you could do a protein bar. Make sure that your protein bars have a good amount of protein and they're not overly loaded in sugar. Greek yogurt, same thing. Greek yogurt, we were talking about earlier, can be loaded in sugar, but Greek yogurt with some granola, or a hard-boiled egg with a granola bar, that would be great for breakfast, or like 10 almonds, a string cheese, and fruit. Like that would be perfect. Okay, so snacking from home, that's what we're all doing right now. I like to make snack plates a lot because if you are feeling overly hungry for whatever reason, it's good to like have different textures, different colors, different varieties because you just feel so satisfied. So when I look at this plate, I'm just like, wow, like that's so fun, and you're just excited to eat it, and you're going to feel a lot more satisfied than rather just eating like a protein bar at your desk. So especially for kids, if you're building snacks for kids, try to keep in the color, the texture, and all that kind of stuff. And snacking on the go. So snacking on the go can be a little bit harder, but if you're just like, if you're running errands or something, it's okay to put some like semi-perishable things in your bag if you're going to eat them within an hour or so. So like string cheese, hummus, Greek yogurt, peanut butter, and then so let's just say you're running out the door. You could grab some apple slices and some peanut butter, or you could grab some grapes and string cheese. Like these are going to be great options just to throw in your purse or your bag and go. And then in your car. So I always keep snacks in my car because if I don't want to be in a situation where me or my husband gets hangry. So I always make sure I'm prepared. And for here, I just choose options that are not going to go bad. So I love Hippies. I think they're the most delicious snack in the world. I love peanut butter crackers, and I love to keep like Skinny Pop in there. Different protein and fat options. This is a little bit harder just because most of the proteins that we typically like are going to need to be refrigerated. So I like to do the cocoa roasted almonds. They're like these like cocoa powdered with stevia almonds are so good. Peanut butter to goes, pistachios, beef jerky. That's another really good one. The sodium is a little bit higher in beef jerky, but if you're eating lots of meals at home, then it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, and then always keep snacks in your purse or your bag as well. So in my bag, I like to keep Kind bars. I like to keep Rex bars. And the reason I like these bars in particular is because they are like whole foods. So like egg whites, almonds, cashews, rather than having lots of processed ingredients in the bar. Okay, and this is very enlightening as well. So when we talk about drinks, like drinks can be so high in sugar, they can throw off your energy levels so bad. So next time you're reaching for one of these items, I want you to think about it twice because we're going to go through like how many grams of sugar is in each one. So let's just say you go and you get a well, pumpkin spice latte. I know that's not totally in season right now, but it's just so loaded in sugar. I had to tell you about it so that whenever October rolls around, you won't make this mistake. So, um, whenever you're going to Starbucks, maybe think twice before ordering a pumpkin spice latte because pumpkin spice latte has 52 grams of sugar, and that is 13 packets of sugar. Like, please imagine if you looked across the room and you saw someone empty 13 packets of sugar in their drink. Like, you would think that they were crazy, but this is what so many of us are doing like every single day. And it adds to that roller coaster and it's just going to throw you off. And as soon as you get done with that, you're going to be left feeling really tired and craving carbs again. So instead of doing that, we're going to talk about what to do on the next slide. Another thing is a sports drink. So instead of having a sports drink, I would recommend just trying to stay away from those altogether. Like maybe do a calorie-free one or just use water because one sports drink has usually 34 grams of sugar, which is a lot of sugar. And we don't need that. If you are exercising and you're exercising for a long time, that's one thing. But if you're just drinking it to drink something sweet throughout the day, then that's just going to add to that roller coaster. Mixed fruit juice. So this is another one that people think they're being really healthy with, but before you know it, you can have 48 grams of sugar. And in fruit juice, you're not getting the benefits of the fiber and like the bulk. So you're not feeling really full. So you're just drinking this like it's water. And before you know it, your energy levels are out of whack. You are getting some vitamins and minerals, which is really good, but you are missing out on some of those really important things. So if you're going to do a fruit juice, I recommend trying to find one that's really low in sugar or trying to do more of like a vegetable juice. Like I think V8 has like a green power smoothie that has like a little bit of pineapple juice and a lot of more veggies inside of it. And then Coke. So we know Coke is obviously not the greatest for us, but one bottle of Coke, like a 20 ounce, is 250 calories, 63 grams of sugar, which is 16 sugar packets. So that's just going to send your body up and down again. So instead of choosing those things, I recommend getting a skinny latte. So if you're, I feel like Starbucks right now is one of the like, it's just one of the things that we can actually do. So I think a lot of us are driving by. Get a skinny latte. Those are not too bad. It only has 17 grams of sugar, which is about 4 sugar packets, but that's coming from the milk, and the milk is also going to be providing you with protein. So it kind of evens out, in my opinion. Like if you're getting 17 grams of sugar, 12 grams of protein, not too bad. As far as like Gatorade, if you don't need it during your exercise, then I recommend doing a G2 or Gatorade Zero. The Gatorade Zeros have 0 calories, 0 sugars, It's great. Instead of soda, if you're wanting a little bit of that carbonation, I recommend doing sparkling water. It kind of fills that void, kind of not. And then if you're wanting to just drive by somewhere, Chick-fil-A Diet Lemonade is always a great, delicious option, especially on the warmer days. Okay, so what to look for in a nutrition fact label. So we kind of talked about the basics, but I just want to go over them one more time and just kind of explain it in a little bit different way. So we said we like to look for whole foods, and we also want to look to see if you have any allergies. I just want to throw that in there. So let's just flip over to this nutrition fact label real quick. So whenever you're looking at this nutrition fact label, you go down to the bottom and you see the ingredients. Well, the first ingredient is dates, and then egg whites, and then almonds, cashews. So chocolate, it does have chocolate, but it's 0 grams added sugar, so we know that it's just like raw. And so it's really important to look at the ingredient list because the ingredient list is listed in order of the most occurring ingredient to the least. So dates are going to be what's in that. It's actually an RX bar. So dates are going to be the #1 ingredient in an RX bar, followed by egg whites, followed by almonds, followed by cashews. So we know by looking at that is a really healthy bar. Like it's very whole food based, which we like. And then the next thing we want to look for are the calories. So earlier we said like 150 to 250, but if you're trying to like really lose weight, I just said 150 to 200 calories. If you're looking at the RX bar, it has 210 calories, which it's 10 calories over. That is just fine to me. And then when you're looking at carbs, we said anywhere from like 15 to 20 grams of carbs. If you're a guy, even 30 grams of carbs would be okay. So this one has 24 grams of carbs. That's close enough again, like within 4 grams of carbs for women, right in line for the men. And then protein, I like to do about 8 to 15 grams of protein. This one has 12 grams, perfect. And then fat, we like to do 5 to 10 grams of fat. So fat, I really don't like to look at it too much because if the calories, the carbs, and the proteins fall in line, then the fat is going to fit as well because the fat, the carbs, and the protein are going to equal the calories. And then the last things I like to look at are how much added sugar is in the bar, and then does it have a good amount of fiber? So there are 0 grams of added sugar in this, and that is what we like to see because added sugar is just going to be giving you calories and carbs without providing your body without any nutrients. And then the higher the fiber, the better, because that's just going to help stabilize your blood sugars. Okay, so let's look at a not so great example. This is going to be some Pop-Tarts. When we look at the calories, we said around 150, 250 maybe. This one has 410. So we already know, okay, this isn't a good option, but let's just keep going. So then we look at the carbs. The carbs are 76 grams. We said anywhere from 15 to 20, maybe 30. This is way high, so right there we can eliminate. The protein is too low, it's 4 grams, and we want between like 8 and 15. I just say around 10 grams. The sugars are super high, and if you look at those ingredient lists, those ingredients are not the greatest. There's some sugar, some corn syrup, all like really high up on that list. So this is not going to be as great of an option as the RX bar. Okay, so let's put it into practice a little bit. Okay, let's just say it's 4 o'clock and you walk into your kitchen because you know you need a snack and you see a banana. What would you guys pair with the banana to make your blood sugars balanced? I would probably have some peanut butter with the banana, maybe sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top to just give myself really good blood sugars, really controlled energy levels. And it goes both ways too. So what if you guys had almonds? What would you pair with those almonds? I would do like almonds with some blueberries just because the almond is your protein and fat. And then, so now we know we need to add a carb. So I would add some blueberries, have some fruit, have some nuts, like perfect combination. Okay, are there any exceptions? I did want to bring this up because you guys obviously work out really hard, and this is a really common question I get. So, snacking before workouts, I don't know if you guys have ever had like an upset stomach while you're working out. I know I certainly have, and we don't want to do that at all. So, one of the ways to avoid that is to not have a protein right before you go to the gym because we don't want to slow down digestion right before you work out because then it can just sit in your stomach longer and not make you feel very good. So, if it's within like an hour, then that's like the only time I'll say don't pair carb and protein. So, have that banana by itself, have that granola bar by itself, but if it's more than like 2 to 3 hours before, then you can go ahead and have that banana and peanut butter. Or if it's like 3+ hours, then I would say you could just have a meal. That would be just fine. After workouts, we want to do the same thing. We want to replenish those carbs. We want to replenish those proteins, and just keep doing what we're doing. Another question I get a lot of the time is it's about carbs, and I just want to touch on this too because I think it's really important, especially when you guys are exercising so much. So this is like one of the common things that I get asked. So I'm doing intensive cardio and lifting weights. I'm not seeing any results, and I feel tired, low in energy. I'm trying so hard, but I can't lose weight. As soon as I eat any carbs, I gain weight. I need your help. Why can't I lose weight? So one of the things that happens really often is people aren't eating carbs, so they're operating with low blood sugars. And whenever they're doing this, after they're exercising and trying to build muscle, those proteins, instead of doing their job and building the muscle, are now being used and converted into energy. And we want to get energy from our carbohydrates. We don't want to have too much energy from our carbs because if we have too much, then we'll end up storing it. But if we just get a decent amount of energy every single meal, every single snack, just to keep us going, and combine that with a protein, that is what's going to allow you to build muscle. And the more lean muscle mass you have, the higher your metabolism is going to be. So the more calories you're going to burn at rest, and it's going to be so much easier to have like long-term sustainable weight loss and be a healthy weight. Okay, so I have a newsletter and a free 7-day meal plan, like a meal idea list, really. I don't have like portion sizes on there because I want you guys to listen to your hunger and fullness cues. But if you want snack ideas, you want meal ideas, email me, or you can go to my website and click that pink banner, and I will send it your way. And by doing that, you're going to subscribe to my newsletter. I send a new newsletter every single week, just like fun blog about something relevant going on. It's been a lot of quarantine stuff lately. Yeah, so if you're trying to stay healthy, I know summer's coming up, subscribe to the newsletters to just keep you on track and keep you updated with all the latest stuff. And now I'm taking questions. So ask away. If you have a more personal question, you can email me at NicoleHinkleyRD@gmail.com. I'd love to answer your questions through the phone, email, whatever. But if you have a question that you want to ask for everyone to see, then put it in the live chat box, and I will answer them. I think I'm slightly delayed, so I'm just going to stay on here and wait for y'all's questions. Another thing that I wanted to talk about are monthly challenges, because tomorrow is May 1st, and I think it's super fun to do like a monthly challenge. So last month, or this month actually, my husband and I, we ran 3 miles every single day, and I thought it was so fun to just have something that you focus on every day. Some of my clients are doing like no dessert for a month. Other ones are doing, they have to have 64 ounces of water every single day for an entire month. Others are doing like a walking for 30 minutes a day. So it can really be whatever you want. So if you want to join that, email me too and I'll put you in the group. But yeah, any questions you have, just drop them in the box and yeah, I will answer them. What are good late night snack ideas? Good question. Um, so when it comes to late night snacking, a lot of people think that it's so bad to eat after a certain time. And I definitely eat after dinner because I usually start my eating habits a little like I usually start breakfast a little bit later and I'm a super night owl, so I usually eat dinner around 7 and go to bed around 12. And if I go to bed at 12 and I haven't eaten since 7, I'm starving. So it's not a total bad thing to eat a controlled snack late at night. My favorite late night snack ideas are going to be what I've been having lately are strawberries with yogurt because it's kind of like a little bit of an ice cream fix. Um, some of the people that like savory stuff, they like to do like the turkey roll ups with like dipped in mustard and have some grapes. If you want to kind of have like a kind of healthy, kind of not snack idea, you could do like some cocoa covered almonds as that protein and fat, and then like a little glass of wine for your carb. I do that one pretty often. Um, yeah. Do you guys have any more questions? How often do you recommend to eat snacks? So I recommend to eat snacks about every 3 to 4 hours. So I'll just give you my kind of how I structure my day. So I have breakfast around 9 a.m. It's like a decent meal. And then I'll have a lunch around 12 to 1. And then since I don't eat dinner until 7, I eat a snack. I like split the difference. So in between 12 and 7, usually around about like 3 to 4, I'll eat a snack and then have dinner at 7 and then have another snack around 10. And um, the calories in those snacks like do need to like you don't just want to be adding snacks. Like the whole point isn't just to add calories. The idea is that by adding snacks and by adding some food in between your meals, you're going to be saving those calories by the time you get to that lunch, by the time you get to dinner, because you're going to be able to control what you're eating. Do you guys have any more questions? If you're doing an early morning workout and don't want to eat anything before, do you have a recommendation for something to drink? Yeah. Okay. So what time are you working out? I'll start talking, but what time are you working out and do you normally eat anything before your workout? 4:30 a.m. Ah, that's so early. 4:30 is so early. Um, if you normally eat something before your workout, then hold on, I want to see what you eat before. If you eat before. If it's early like that, sometimes people function just fine without eating before. So, yeah, if I were to wake up that early, I would honestly not want to have anything on my stomach just because sometimes you just feel a little bit off. But if you have an early morning and you don't want to eat anything before, so maybe you could drink a little bit of orange juice or something like that, because chances are you don't want to drink anything with protein because you're not waking up earlier than like 2:30 a.m. So the biggest thing I would say for here is if you're fine without eating before you work out, then just really focus on that after workout meal. Okay, I was working out at night and would eat a banana a few hours before. I'm trying to work out in the morning, but I'm starving when I wake up. Oh, good. So, yeah, if you can eat something, a banana would be great. If you're waking up before, like way before your workout, you can have a full-on meal if you're starving, but I would just say really focusing on after that meal. I love the Fairlife milk, like the chocolate milk, because it's a great balance of the protein and carbs. Um, but if you're just gonna do like a little swig of something before, maybe like some orange juice, like a little bit of orange juice to give you some carbs and calories right before, but a banana, a granola bar, that would be great before a workout, but just like really focusing on that post-workout meal since it's so early. And you need a snack because if you're waking up that early, like that's a lot of hours in the day to be able to eat food. Okay. What else, you guys? What other questions do you have? Was this helpful? Did you learn about blood sugars? A lot of people don't really think about blood sugars being related to their mood, their energy levels, um, their their brain function. A lot of my clients are like, "Wow, like I'm just able to get a lot more work done now." Yeah, and like I said, if you have like a more personal question, don't hesitate to email me. I would love to talk to you on email. Is that it? Any more questions? Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun. Like I said, this is my favorite thing to talk about because I think it's just the most impactful thing. So I hope all you guys, um, after you uh, after you exit, really make a plan for how you're going to work that carb and protein into every single meal and snack. That's your goal for May. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in and email me any other questions you have.